Well, it is with deep sorrow that Namibia mourns the passing of its beloved founding president and father of the nation, Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, a towering figure in our country's history. Dr. Nujoma dedicated his life to the liberation, unity and development of this country. On February 8, 2025, at the age of 95, just 3 months shy of his 96th birthday, the nation bid farewell to a leader whose vision and resilience shaped the foundation of our democracy. As we at NBC continue to honor his extraordinary legacy, we invite you to join us in reflection and remembrance. Now, to begin with, this afternoon, we are joined by Job Munyaro, the Secretary General of the National Union of Namibian Workers, who will provide insight into the labor movement during Dr. Nujoma's tenure. Mr. Munyaro, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for inviting us. It's a very much memorable time.
We appreciate your time. To start with, Mr. Munyaro, talk to us about how you came to know the late founding president and father of the nation, Dr. Sam Nujoma.
Thank you very much. I think it's not to me alone. I've been I happened to know my founding father long before when I was a child, just by name at that time, not only me, possibly many of us, including the imperialist South Africans. So I know him by name, later by his picture, later by his face, and later by his leadership. So it's a long way.
Yeah.
Some of the colonizers happen to know him by his picture and his name, and before they ran out of the country, they haven't met him up to date.
Well, Mr. Munyaro, of course, the number of workers at the time that our former president was in power has obviously changed over the years and times, increased, of course, and with it comes challenges. So talk to us about, the unions, how they've been able to handle these challenges and how, you've mitigated them over the years.
So before independence, there were workers. They were celebrating their Workers' Day called May Day, but under harsh circumstances. But Comrade Nujoma as the first worker of this country who has tested and felt the slavery, has actually opened doors up for each and every worker to make sure workers' rights are protected. Not just their rights, but their fundamental rights. And he went out of country. He did not forget that he comes from a house of workers. That makes him to form a political party to fight for the independence of this country. Therefore, he has never forgotten of us as workers in this country. At that time with the workers, the party was very much united. They survived the Sambok of Kufuts. They have never dismantled us with their tear gas and their Samboks. We remained united. It seems as if the pain, we were beaten up to become more stronger than before. So, but his legacy will never be forgotten by the workers as the first worker of this country who fought for that.
We'll get a little bit more into the legacy that you take with you, of his tenure. But I want to know, as the nation mourns, as you mourn, talk to us about, what message you would give to fellow Namibians during this period, especially as we're mourning just on the heels of, our 1-year anniversary of the passing of President Hage Geingob.
It's a little bit of a tough time. One February to another February, losing leaders of that caliber. Now today we are facing the morning of passing away of the founding father, the Namibian nation, Comrade Shafishuna. His visionary leadership that all of us know. unwavering commitment to this, to the Namibian people, equally to the Namibian workers. A lifelong dedication of the founding to the people of this country, possibly not to the Namibians, but possibly to the African people. So our independence did not just come by itself. There was a lot of sacrifices of people. One who also equally say condolences to our plant fighters who have never been wavering to fight for us. We have been carrying the gun day and night. So Dr. Nujoma only is not an architect of the liberation struggle, but is an advocate for social justice, dignity of workers of this country. One of his first Namibian worker, as I told you.
Yeah.
The other issue is that we should also know that NUNW was not just formed after independence. It was found before independence, but through the leadership of Comrade Nujoma. And for you to know that NUNW has been participating in the ILO activities, in the National Labour Organization, before independence. That is through his hard work. That makes us proud as workers, because historically we come a long way with the ILO through the leadership of Comrade Nujoma. So one of the aspects was labor rights. Before independence, no worker had the right at all. You have no decision to take. You have no issue of trade unionism. Be members of it. There's not even a labor act that protects you as a worker. It tells you that slavery was legal. When he comes to this country of the brave, all those things has disappeared.
Yeah.
Workers has been recognized. The labor act is there. The human rights protections of workers is there. We have a Namibian constitution that speaks to each and everybody.
On that note, under his leadership at the time, were there policies and principles that enabled you to represent your workers better?
Yes, as much as you see, we have a right to talk about our people, for our people. And there's also no person that who speaks about workers without workers. So it's not an issue for us to say there is nothing that had happened. Yesterday there was so many issues of salaries and negotiations and things. Last year, close to the end, we announced the minimum wages. It's things that tells you that the country are caring. The country has leadership that cares for the workers. And this foundation was not just laid by each and everybody. It's a strong foundation that was laid by Comrade Nujoma. It's why it's not breakable. It's why you see those people who wants to come back and colonize us passively does not succeed with that. Even though they are bringing a lot of billions and millions to make sure they divide us and rule us, it's not succeeding because the foundation of unity was laid. And there's no way that Namibians are going to be divided, because if you are divided, we'll definitely fall.
Mr. Munyara, over the past couple of days, of course, we've engaged, quite a number of people. And when we touch on the legacy that the founding president left behind, there's different views because he was so multifaceted. But yet what each person, relates to seems to be something quite significant. So in terms of his legacy that is left behind, not only the impression on the union, but perhaps also personally, what would that be for you?
If you all observe he was a person who loved children.
Yeah.
Very much. He was a person who was interested in the protection of women. He was a person who was saying we must be independent, not by name, but we must be independent by each and every activity in this country, including food security. I remember since independence, he's always speaking about clean drinking water, always speaking about desalination of seawater. It tells you that if water is something that must be taken seriously, that's the only thing that can produce food for our people, that can kick poverty and hunger out of our country. It's the only thing is water, and he was praying about water. The issue of housing. He sometimes became very angry when you see this vast country, and he realized people after independence does not have proper housing and proper sanitation. It's the time that he announced we must countrywide do away with the bucket system. He doesn't want to see it in his own eyes. So there's a lot of love that he has left for us, and he has a lot of things that he has left for us. If we are not prepared to implement what he has given us, and we are going to fail as a nation, whether we like it or not. The foundation he has laid, it's on that foundation where we should build this country to a prosperous future.
Mr. Manyara, before we let you go, just your very brief and final remarks.
I would like to say all Namibians, all workers, all people of this country, of the people of the world, let us all pay respect to the founding father. Let us all come together and make sure we bring his dreams, we work hard for his dreams to become true. That's the message that I want to give to the Namibian people, including Namibian leaders that wants to lead this country. Make sure the dreams of the founding father comes true.
We thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you.
And condolences to you and to the nation.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
That was Mr. Job Muniare, the Secretary General of the National Union of Namibian Workers, speaking to us there. We're going to be back after this brief break, and our conversations will continue, so do stay with us. Welcome back. The SWAPO Party Youth League came into existence in 1969 after the SWAPO Tanga Consultative Congress in Tanzania adopted a new constitution in 1971. The Youth League protested at major colleges and schools and participated at the general strike of the 1971 and 1972, a major turning point in the Namibian fight for independence. Now, the SPYL has always been a key part of the mother body SWAPO. We now have, and as we know, we have lost the founding father and the founder of the SWAPO party. Continuing with more discussions this afternoon, I'm now joined by Mr. Ephraim Nokongo, who is the Secretary General of the SPYL. Sir, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I want to start by asking you, of course, how you relate to the founding president. You seem quite young, so I'm assuming you were much younger at the time when, of course, Namibia came into independence and he became the first president of the country.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I was very young at that time, maybe 5 to maybe 6 years. But I remember very well gluing ourselves to a TV, black and white by then, looking at what was unfolding at the Independence Stadium when the South African flag was lowered and the Namibian flag hoisted high, and remembering the founding father with the white beard that we all admired by then, as young as we are. And I think we, at a time as young as I was, we also have seen many propaganda by then of Nujoma this, Nujoma eating the grass and all these things. So as young as I was glued to understand what was going on at that time. So I think that will be the first time that I know there was Sam Nujoma, and indeed by then we were told is our liberator. So that's how I relate to the founding president.
Of course, these conversations that we're having in remembrance of him sort of brings back memories that perhaps we've also forgotten about, but also reiterates the important role that he played, in Namibia's road to independence. Would you say that, the young people of today, the youth, really grasp the essence of what independence is?
Well, I could say yes. And I think as young people, we were the luckiest one, especially to be born after, independence. Many of young people do not know what was happening then, but they only happen to know the existence of our country after the country is freed from the oppressions. And I think some, luckily, they knew through history because they have studied about what was happening, and some are interested into politics, and hence they know some. But some might be a little bit ignorant, not really understanding where we are coming from. At one point, I was speaking to a young person, and he said, "Look, we have suffered." And I said, "Yeah, but maybe let's look at it differently." I said, a little bit, not insulted, but I said, just before you were not born, government has started taking care of you. Unlike before, you can't even have a Panado, or you can't even have, when pregnant mother, you have to go to, through the checkup every now and then.
Yeah.
So this is through the leadership of Comrade Nujoma that the country gained independence, and we enjoy all this. But yes, sometimes we don't see this, but I must say the founding father and other founding fathers have really done a good work to liberate our country. And thereafter, they started taking care of the aspect of developing our country under different circumstances, you know. And I remember very well that the founding father has really done his part, especially just from the bush, with many others from the bush, and there you have to put up the administrative of government. It's not an easy thing as people think. 15 years down with him, typically Nujoma from the bush, putting up state machineries to ensure that here we are, speaking good English on NBC.
You know, there's so much emphasis that's put on saying the youth are the future. You know, the youth, this generation is the one who will become the future leaders of this country, etc. And it's not only a Namibian thing. I think globally, that's just what's said. There's so much emphasis put on the potential that young people hold for the future. But nowadays, we see, you know, young people, including some who might even be a part of the SPYL, not really following in the footsteps of the freedom fighters of this country, specifically now in the Namibian context. And by that I mean, you know, in terms of showing resilience, etc. We see them being tribalistic, materialistic, etc. So I want to know, do you really think that you know, the young people of today are able to carry forward the spirit and legacy of a man who laid, you know, down so much to see this country come to independence?
Maybe before then I come to that, let me talk about Nujoma and the youth. I think, as I said, from the bush, I don't talk much after that because I was not there. But what I have known and what I have seen is that he has been carrying the young people. And he's a president who believes much in the young people by then. And he grew many of them. And many of them came and set up the administrative of government, if I have to put it that way, because many centers that were set up, and I always talk about that, I think that idea of assisting technocrats to come up with understanding of how to run institutions is very important. Like the one that was in Zambia, that was under the leadership of Dr. Hage Geingob. We tend to forget about those, but Nujoma has shaped those young people to say, when the time comes, we'll have people that can able to put up the institution. And I think that's where I want to relate to say he has been caring with young people through the leadership of SWAPO Party Youth League. Many leaders from the SWAPO Youth League has emerged and become leaders. People like Sarah Kugongero Amadira, Dr. Abraham Yambo, and many of them that have been at that time. And since then, even the SWAPO Party then have taken that approach to always inject new blood in the leadership, be it in the government, be it in many spheres. But I would want to say, yes, young people are ready. It's just that perhaps the circumstances are different. And sometimes maybe you don't see it as liberations, but when you look at nowadays, as we speak, many of the institutions are in the hand of young people. And that is just basically said we have educated. Nujoma will always say, make sure that every Namibian child go to school.
That's right.
Why? Why is because so that the future of the country is guaranteed. And I think that's one thing, the legacy that we'll take from him. He have been with young people and he have been advocating every speech that he'll speak. Even at a platform where you feel it's not applicable, he'll stand up and say, make sure that the Namibian child from kindergarten to the university. So, and that is the legacy, I think, as leaders we must able to take and make sure that every Namibian must be educated. Why? Is because once you educate all this, and you remember he was just speaking from the bush where they are coming from to say we liberated the country, but after we liberated, how do we liberate the country further in terms of economical of our country? He mean if you educate the young person, that means that we'll talk about food security for our country. We'll talk about we'll always talk about minerals that we have, for example, so that we can able to add value to the minerals, so that we don't just complain. He always speak about removing the stupidity covenant, you know, through education. And once we do that, then that means that we can able to see
Yeah.
And once we can able to see, we can able then to develop our country.
Yeah. Well, what other lessons, Ephraim, does the SPYL keep with them that they've learned from the founding president?
First is resilience for us. Nujoma went to a certain extent of making sure that things are done. One thing that I remember as young as I am is the issue of the railway. You know, he have been having this dream to say, we want to have a railway extended to the Angolan border, and he has speak about to build a Cape Frio harbour. And he go to an extent, despite that the railway construction was given to people to construct, he have removed all of us from our comfort zone and said, let's go and build the railway. I remember very well those years we were so excited to go and meet the founding father at the railway, and he will be there and will be all of us there, institutions, and that shows that he have been a man of, hard work, not only necessarily an office-bound person. He would want to make sure that the railway have reached where. So now, as we speak, the railway have reached Chicago, extending to Oshakati, thanks to Nujoma. If he couldn't make us to work and work hard, it couldn't be there. So nowadays, you ask yourself, like the previous speaker was speaking about water he world. I remember very well at Omagogo Festival in Nukwaluni, having a platform, the two of them with the President Pohamba, and I was just listening how they were whispering it to each other, and Nujoma say, I'm worried. And I didn't understand. He was like, I'm worried because every morning I wake up, I see some reddish, It's an indication that one day our river will dry up. So I will still encourage that we must develop and desalinate the water. So I was there, small as I am, but yes, as secretary of the Youth League, listening. And later I introspected and I said, I think Comrade Nujoma have an idea, and he have been speaking about this.
Yeah.
Now that here we are, Comrade Nujoma is no more. I think it's high time that we must talk about necessary, perhaps not to talk about desalination, but because he was thinking about the desalination, but I think it's time has come for us then to think about the water security for our country, and then we can able then to ensure that his legacy come to fruition.
How do you envision the SWAPO party to be like now, in the absence of founding President Nujoma? Of course, we know that he wasn't active within the party for many, many years, but still, such a presence that has left the nation and left the party now. How do you envision the future? Well,
the gap that Comrade Nujoma will leave, it will never be filled. That's the truth of it. However, his legacy that he will leave, especially, he will always speak about unity. He will always speak that if you are not united, there's no way that you achieve anything. For the SWAPO party and the leadership of SWAPO party, that should be a wisdom that we must take from him, to say we must at all material time unite for a common good, as he always said, so that we are all prosperous at the end of the day with what we want to achieve. So it's the legacy that will miss from Comrade Nujoma, and the bravery that is in him. I think that's what we'll miss in SWAPO, but we strongly believe that with that legacy, we'll always step on, and it will ignite us to continue the fight, especially for prosperity of his Namibia that he dreamed of.
Your final remarks, Ephraim, before we release you?
Well, here we are. The dark cloud is engulfing us all as Namibian. I was listening through the platform of government update, and I was looking and listening there and say, how are we really understanding mourning? And somebody asked questions. I was finding it difficult really to say, mourning is mourning. All of us as Namibian, we know if your neighbor has something, I can't stand up and start, celebrating and put up music and whatever. It's basically mourning.
That's correct.
So therefore, as a country, we are mourning our father, is a father of the Namibian people, and yes, a leader of our revolution. I just want to send condolences to all of us. First to the immediate family, Comrade Ovambo and Utoni and the children. That yes, the loss of the founding father is not only for the Nujomas, but it's for all of us as Namibians. And all of us must find strength as we cross this darkest moment of our country, and yes, the darkest moment of our revolution, and for the SWAPO party to continue honoring his legacy.
Mr. Ephraim Nkongo, we appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us and sharing your sentiments with us.
You're welcome, and thank you, Otto.
Thank you. That was the Secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League speaking to us there. And of course, before we engaged him, we did have the media briefing with the Government Information Center, as I mentioned earlier. Perhaps you've just joined us, and that it was just a reiteration on sort of the guidelines around the mourning period on celebratory events, sports events, school athletics, private events, and of course also alerting the nation as to when the memorial services will be taking place at the Nujoma residence, and is open to the public between 4 and 6. But if you'd like more information on that, you can go on to the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technologies pages, social media pages and website, and get all of the information from there. Otherwise, we will be sharing it, of course, here on our MBC platforms. We're going to take another brief break, and when we come back, our conversations do continue.
My dear wife, my dear children, my dear comrades, it is an honor for us to have this opportunity to meet. But an opportunity should always be for the future generation. We should not talk for our own interest. My interest, first and foremost, is the unity of SADC, Southern Africa Development Corporation, to become part of the African Union with the headquarters in Addis Ababa. This was formed by great leaders. Now, here in Namibia, we must play a role, very simple one, and that is God has given us this land. The harbor of Walvis Bay today, as we are sitting here, is the harbor of SADC. Why? Because all the shipping line normally travel from the United States of America, Canada, and the whole of Europe. Normally pass through here, go to Cape Town to deliver goods for South Africa. But as we are talking here, oil that makes the ship to move become expensive. The harbor of Walvis Bay is today the harbor of SADC and Africa as a whole. Now, it is therefore our duty and responsibility to make sure that every Namibia child attend the kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, and at the university level, in order for us to build a strong nation. We believe that a united people striving to achieve common good for all members of the society will always emerge victorious. I thank you.
In 1960, there was no People's Party of Angola whose revolutionary forces routed. I will not say much about the hospitality that I want in this territory. Therefore, comrades, we must be vigilant. Let us not to be deceived by. Viva! Viva South Africa! Viva! Viva Oliver Tambo! Viva! Viva Oliver Tambo! Viva! Comrades, first of all, on behalf of the SWAPO of Namibia and the SWAPO University of Namibia, I would like to express our sincere thanks to the UNIFI and the Zambian government for having organized this rally. That in this arms, French of 100,000 children who were demonstrating against a barbaric and a useless language, Afrikaans, which cannot be used anywhere. Comrades, we believe that what has been intended by force can only be regained and restored by force.
Welcome back. In a heartfelt tribute to the late Dr. Sam Nujoma, Namibia's founding father, Michelle McLean-Bailey reflects on his invaluable role as the patron of the Michelle McLean Children's Trust and the Michelle McLean Primary School. Dr. Nujoma's unwavering support and vision were fundamental in shaping the foundation's mission, ensuring its sustainability and leaving an indelible mark on the education and welfare of Namibia's children. In our next conversation, we take a closer look at Michelle McLean-Bailey's journey in honouring Dr. Nujoma's legacy and the continued work of the Trust, which has affected generations of Namibian youth. Madam McLean-Bailey, good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm truly, truly honoured. I'm just very, very deeply sad today about the loss of our founding father, Dr. Sam Nujoma. My condolences to the founding First Lady and to the Nujoma family and the Kondombolo family as well.
Well, thank you so much. Well, we know that Dr. Sam Nujoma was a great supporter of the Michelle McLean Children's Trust. So can you share with us, how his patronage affected the Trust and its growth over the past, years?
We've had an amazing 34 years together, and I have been so grateful that Dr. Sam Nujoma agreed to be the patron of the Michelle McLean Children's Trust when I founded it in 1992. And ironically, he didn't see pageants as something insignificant. He saw it as an opportunity, me representing Namibia and then going on to win Miss Universe, as an opportunity for a young woman to represent the country, travel the world, and promote Namibia and its wonderful investment and tourism opportunities, and of course all the good work that we did in the community together.
As a founding president of Namibia, Dr. Nujoma had a unique vision for the country's future. How did his leadership and wisdom influence the goals and direction of the Michelle McLean Primary School and, the broader mission of the Trust?
From the first day I walked into his office and he agreed to be the patron of the Michelle McLean Children Trust, I was awe-inspired. He's been my mentor ever since. And I think his vision about looking after the children, and true to what I said at the Miss Universe pageant when I won the title, they asked me, what would I do if I was made leader of the country tomorrow? And I thought about Dr. Sam Nujoma, and it came to me that I would really want to look after the children because they are the future. And although it sounds cliche, this is something that Dr. Sam and I worked together on tirelessly. When he inaugurated my school at the Michelle McLean Primary School in Ochumuza in Windhoek in the year 2000, he really, after many years of already been doing many projects throughout the country, initiating in education, he really inspired me to continue the good work, and education was so important to him, and especially creating and crafting our new future leaders.
100%. Well, in 1992, after winning your Miss Universe title, you made a promise to focus, on the children of Namibia, and Dr. Nujoma was a key figure in that journey. Talk to us about the significance of that promise and how his mentorship, helped guide you in fulfilling it.
Well, as I said, he was a mentor to me, but he also made time to really spend time with me to talk about the future ideals of Namibia and what we needed to do. So in many of our projects together, I have to recall one of my favorite projects was the Cool Project, where he actually came up north in Namibia with me, and we distributed rough terrain bicycles to children who had to walk very long distances from their homesteads and villages throughout Namibia to get to school. So it was important to him that children had the access to attend school because they were going to be our future leaders. And it was a fun occasion. My son, Luke, then was 6 years old, was with us, and we had a phenomenal time. So we really did have an opportunity, and I learned so much about promoting Namibia and the future of our country.
In the year 2000, we know that Dr. Nujoma attended the inauguration of the Michelle McLean Primary School. Talk to us about that day, what transpired, and of course, such a proud moment for yourself, and I'm sure for him as well.
Absolutely. I think the children were just awe-inspired, as I was, to see him come to the school and to show his real support for children and education. And it was one of those fun days that I will never forget. We were able to open and inaugurate the school, and now, 34 years later, we are still going strong. Thank you to the Ministry of Education for their support as well. And we've had hundreds of children that have graduated from the school. In fact, I get stopped on the street all the time when somebody says to me, I went to your Michelle McLean Primary School and now I'm a doctor.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. Well, of course, Michelle, there's many people that we're speaking to during, over the past couple of days and in the days ahead, and we all ask them about the legacy that they take with them in terms of what they feel the founding president has imparted upon them. What would that be for you personally?
Well, besides the great support that he gave me, and I was able to work with him on the vision of ensuring that education was a priority in our country, going out as an ambassador in the world, and I'm now, a Goodwill ambassador, consultant for tourism and investment. I think the most important thing for me going out into the world as an ambassador was that I was so proud. I was able to be so proud of my country because of the legacy of our political and economic stability, and the fact that not only have this beautiful country, but the international community really recognized him as a visionary, and I was always proud to go out in the world and represent him in Namibia.
Yeah. You're one of the few who I would consider lucky individuals who happen to share a personal relationship with Dr. Nujoma. So talk to us about that just briefly, me too.
Well, I have to reveal that he was a very humorous human being. I think many people saw the very serious side of him running the country. He had to be very pragmatic and serious in many ways, but he was fun-loving, a family man, and I just get goosebumps right now thinking about it. I remember one occasion, it was a day after Christmas, and he was at the coast in SWAPO, and he invited my family and I to go fishing with him. And oh, I get so emotional about this. And we raced along that road all the way up past Henty's Bay. And we had our full day fishing with him. I showed him my fisherwoman skills. He was very impressed. And he always said to me, and this inspired me most about him, he was a very disciplined man. And he taught me that, you know, in life, you have to work hard and be very disciplined about your life. And talking about the fish, he was very, he was just very concerned always for health and well-being. A healthy body was a healthy mind. And he always said to me, you know, as we were fishing, you know, this fish is very important. You need to, you know, look after your body, and eating fish, you know, from Namibia is fantastic, and it's going to take you a long way, which it proves. It has taken him a long way, and he's had a vibrant and wonderful life.
Yeah. Well, in addition to what you just said, a lot of people have reiterated those very same sentiments, that he was somebody that was very conscious about health. Another thing that has been consistent throughout our conversations is the fact that he loved children, and he put great emphasis on the fact that, you know, every Namibian child needs to be educated, and really work towards having the Namibian education system be one of quality. Just on that note briefly, Michelle, I want to just gauge your thoughts on you know, around what you think the Namibian education system today, where it stands, and, you know, if we still have a way to go, are we right on par in terms of what Dr. Nujoma envisioned for this country?
I think there's always room to explore in improving our system, but I really do believe that the government has done an incredible job with our education. I think from my perspective, having the Michelle McLean Children Trust as an NGO, it's important for the private sector to also acknowledge, and from an NGO's perspective, that we all have to work together. We all have to collaborate. We can't work in silos. And so I was very proud to always work together with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and many other ministries. But the important thing is that going forward as a nation, we really do need to support our government and our future new woman president, the most excellent, Her Excellency Ndaitwa. So going forward, I know education is always going to be a priority for Namibia, and that is something that I think we need to work on, from the corporate industry, private sector, and the public sector.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, just an opportunity and a message to your fellow Namibians as we do find ourselves within this mourning period. Michelle, are you there? Can you hear us?
Oh, yes, I can hear you now.
All right. I was saying, just your final remarks to the Namibian nation as we found ourselves collectively in this mourning period.
I know this is a very sad time, and it certainly is for me personally, but let us stand together and remember our dearest founding father, Dr. Sam Nujoma, as an inspiration to us all, and let us take his energy and his positivity and go forward into the future for Namibia.
We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was Michelle McLean, former Miss Namibia and Miss Universe, speaking to us via Zoom and just sharing her sentiments as we commemorate and remember our founding president and father of the nation, Dr. Sam Nujoma. We're going to take a brief break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center, a key community development initiative of the Ongwediva Town Council, is dedicated to addressing the diverse social and developmental needs of the local community. In alignment with the vision of the late President Sam Nujoma, the center has been instrumental in transforming lives through various programs designed for vulnerable groups. Today we are joined by Madam Loini Yambo, the center coordinator, to discuss the programs, the impact, and how the legacy of Sam Nujoma continues to inspire and shape the future of Ongwediva. She now joins us on the line. Meloini, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good.
Well, to start with, can you share how the Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center came into existence, firstly, and its connection to the vision of the late President Sam Nujoma?
All right. Thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to add to the nation. The Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center was established in 2002 during the leadership of Honorable Minister Erastus Utoni, the former mayor of Ongwediva, Mr. Damian Ewumbo, the CEO of Ongwediva Town Council, and Ms. Albertina Ndengu, who was the former center coordinator. Now, before the establishment, an impact assessment was conducted at the time, and it highlighted the need to empower the people of Ongwediva by addressing key aspects such as education, social health, and developmental needs. Now, recognizing this, Ongwediva Town Council, in collaboration with other sister municipalities like Aldui and Lomel in Beju, the U.S. Department of Defense and Oceania Regional Authorities, and the local community at large came together to establish the center in 2002. To further go on how the late founding President Dr. Sam Nujoma have played a significant role in developing or in the development of Ongwediva community and contributed immensely to the town's progress. We have highlighted that his strong belief in education and community empowerment was a driving force behind this local initiative. It was also picked up that he was an attendee of Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair during and after his tenure, and in recognition of his hard work and lasting contribution, the Ongwediva leadership decided to name the center in his honor, and thus the Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center was born. Now, when it was named in his name, in most cases, when he met with the leadership of the town, he would always inquire about the center, whether it's still in existence, is it operational, how about the children, because the first program that was established at the center was the Bright Future After School program that was serving orphans, or that still continues to serve orphans and vulnerable children. And he was very supportive of the idea, and I would say he was a regular visitor at the center. Maybe just to further elaborate that the center was constructed into 2 phases, of which phase 1 was inaugurated in April the 11th in 2003 by His Excellency, the late founding President, Dr. Sam Nujoma, and in July 18, 2005, he again inaugurated the phase 2 because the first phase was the hall, or let me say, the community hall, and then the second phase is where now people are operating as an office. Today, the Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center continues to uphold its mission of serving the community, and it remains as a welcoming hub for people of all ages by providing training opportunities, health education, and programs that addresses various community needs. And the center stands as a testament to Dr. Nuyoma's vision, a place where empowerment, education, and development thrive for generations to come.
Thank you so much. I would just quickly want to touch on the programs that you briefly highlighted. Now, the Centre offers several programs, such as the Behavior Change Communication Program, and then the Bright Future After School Program that you touched on also. But can you explain how these initiatives, these programs, are really making a difference, in the community?
All right, thank you. Just to highlight, development in any community thrives when its members are healthy and when they are informed and empowered. Now, at the Nujoma Multi-Purpose Center, we have recognized that education, health awareness, and social support are key to achieving a lasting progress. As you mentioned earlier, the Behavioral Change Communication Program focuses on health and social concern. This is because in the past, many community members were in denial, especially regarding the HIV. And through community health awareness sessions, we have created a safer space for open discussion. And I would testify that now most individuals now understand where to access the social health services and how to make proactive steps towards their healthier lifestyle. And the program has positively influenced behavior change, contributing to healthier and more informed community. I would further go on with the Bright Future After School program. This is a unique initiative that operates 3 days in a week, and it was designed to support orphans and vulnerable children in various aspects of their lives. And this, I would repeat to say, this was the most supported initiative by the founding father. Now, in this case, we have registered orphans and vulnerable children to ensure that they stay in school. We provide them with health support, psychosocial services, and help in obtaining national identity documents because some of them do not have parents. This is just to ensure also that they have access to resources. And many children come from child-headed households or guardians that are caring for 10 or more than children in one home. So the Ongwediva Town Council supports these families now through the Nujoma Multi-Purpose Centers program to help alleviate their burden and create opportunities for a brighter future. But I still want to continue with one key component on the Bright Future After School program is the soup kitchen that we provide to these children. And for many of these children, this meal is a lifeline by providing them with, I would say, nutritional to grow and stay healthy. We have registered some children that were malnourished, but then now, as over time goes, we have witnessed the remarkable improvements either in their health or physical development and academic performances.
Well, Lonia, I can tell that you're very passionate about the Bright Future After School program. So tell us a bit about, some of the success stories that have come from this program.
There are two key that I would want to highlight. I would say over the years, the Bright Future After School program have transformed lives of many overseas, and one of it was a child who found her father through the Bright Future After School program. How? In our communities, there are individuals who are committed to support these needy people. And one such person was a medical aid doctor from one of our local hospitals in the north, who regularly donates school supplies. Now, as part of this process, we shared a list of children who are benefiting from the program, and he came across a child with his surname, and he became curious. Now, he decided to inquire further, and after engagement, he discovered that this child was his biological daughter, a child that he thought he will never knew or he will never meet this child ever again. I think this unexpected discovery reunited a father and a daughter, and proving that the center is not only a place of support, but also of life-changing connection.
Yeah. Well, as the coordinator at the center, Loini, what are some of the most fulfilling aspects of your work there?
Working at the center as a center coordinator has been an incredible journey, or rewarding journey, I would say so. And it has filled with vital moments that I have taken up in my life. Some that have truly stood out for me is the power of teamwork. One thing that amazed me the most is the team spirit at the center. Our staff members and volunteers are the true thrives of our activities, and they ensure that those who are in need receive the support that they deserve. Another that have stood out for me is the commitment of Ongwediva Town Council. Despite the financial challenges, Ongwediva Town Council remains deeply committed to ensure that the center continues to thrive, and their dedication to honor the legacy of the late founding president is inspiring, because this ongoing support has helped transform countless lives within the community and beyond. Maybe another that I could highlight is also, I don't want to forget the support that we receive from individuals and companies at large, because at times we may feel that the center is not widely recognized, but you are surprised to see that people appreciate the work they do, and they keep on donating, either financially or in kind.
Loini, the Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center works with various governmental as well as non-governmental organizations. Talk to us about how these partnerships contribute to the success of the center's initiatives.
These collaborations have been really instrumental towards the Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center, because it's through this partnership that we were able to receive funding and construct the Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center, and ensuring that it remains a sustainable facility that is serving the public. Currently, I would proudly say we have established a mini library that has become an important educational resource, mostly to students and learners, and it's the only mini library that we have within our community. These non-governmental organizations have also brought an opportunity for us to be able to improve the living standards of Ongwediva community, including orphans and individuals that are living with chronic illnesses, and reach out to more people with life-changing services in all aspects of life.
Looking to the future, what are some of the long-term goals and aspirations for the center, particularly, of course, in sustaining the legacy of Dr. Sam Nujoma?
All right. As we look ahead, the Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center remain committed to ensure that the legacy of the late founding president continues to inspire and uplift the future the future generation. Now, how are we perceiving this? We are looking forward to hosting events in honor of Dr. Sam Nujoma by celebrating his contributions to different aspects of life, be it in education, because that was his key, and also social development. We are also looking forward to documenting and sharing stories of impact from the center to keep his vision and values alive in future generations. And one that have came out is at least to establish a Dr. Sam Nujoma Leadership and Development Program that aim at mentoring young leaders in community development and governance.
Lastly, Loini, in your opinion, how can the wider community, contribute to the success of the Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center and support the local programs that have been put in place there?
All right, thank you. The Sam Nujoma Multipurpose Center is more than just a facility, because it's a community-driven movement for positive change. And for the success of the center, the community perhaps can contribute in volunteering their time and skills to support the after-school program that we have, mentor youth, because it's the center where all the youth thrive, and offer training in such areas of entrepreneurship and perhaps life skills. And we will still be looking forward for donations and sponsorship of programs. where I think community members can contribute financially or in kind just to support the initiative like the Bright Future After School program and specifically the soup kitchen that we give there. Also to partner with the same Nujoma Multi-Purpose Center where we are anticipating that businesses, NGOs, and institutions can collaborate on corporate social responsibility. However, in summary, I would say with collective support, we can ensure that Dr. Sam Nujoma's legacy lives on and continue to uplift the generation to come. And this can only be done if together we can build a stronger, healthier, and a more empowered community.
Loini, we appreciate your time this evening. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
I'm very grateful. Thank you.
That was Loini Iyambo, Center Coordinator at the Sam Nujoma Multi-Purpose Center that is situated in the north, speaking to us there on the line. Well, if you've just joined us, you're watching the special broadcast here on NBC One in honor of the memory of our founding president. We'll be right back after this brief break. Well, those were just some beautiful visuals there of Dr. Sam Nujoma. And I urge all, members of the public, if you do have special pictures that you have of him, please do go on our social media pages. That's on Facebook and Instagram. You can send us a private message with a little tribute and share your picture, and we'll be very honored and happy to share it with the rest of the public. Of course, if you'd also like to leave messages of condolences, you can go onto our social media pages to do that as well. On that note, we come to the end of this part of the special broadcast, but of course we will be continuing with our conversations and bringing you all the relevant information concerning this national time of mourning. From myself, Nina Katangana, and the team, thank you so much for watching.